The following is a live presentation of News Channel Nebraska Sports.
And welcome to Grand Island, Nebraska girls soccer, coming your way on a Tuesday as Columbus High takes on the Islanders. Brandon Axmitt, Grant Otten with you, joining us just seconds into the contest. Glad that you are with us as Columbus High, sitting at number 7 in Class B. They are taking on a Grand Island team that is searching for its first win of the season. The Islanders 0-7, Columbus sitting at 4-2, and looks like early on the Lady Discoverers get an opportunity to swing the ball into play. But Grant, this is a Columbus team that has a lot of senior experience. 7 players that have been in the starting lineup since they were sophomores. And they have very high aspirations and high hopes. They're sitting at 4-2, but a big reason for that is they've been riddled with some injuries, some sickness. And talking to head coach Luis Pulido, they actually haven't had their best starting 11 on the pitch for extended periods of time this season yet.
Yeah, that's a great thing if you're Columbus. It's also, that's exciting that at some point you'll have the best starting 11 on there, but also you're hoping that's before the end of the season so they can get that synergy going at its max before postseason. But they got a lot of college soccer players, future college soccer players on this team, specifically in that senior class, and that's shown this year. That experience has reigned supreme, and they've had a great start to the season.
Lady Discoverers opened up the year 3-0 with victories over Lakeview, Norfolk in overtime, as well as Fremont. Then they had a little 2-game skid where they fell to North Star and Southwest in the GNAC, or before the GNAC prior. They did defeat North Platte in the GNAC and will be actually in the GNAC championship, which I believe was rescheduled for, is it this upcoming Monday?
It's the 20th is
the 20th.
April 20th is the official date now, and so they'll be playing Hastings in that matchup. And it was a weird weekend. We got 2 to 4 inches of snow in the Columbus-Norfolk areas, so they had to cancel some games on Friday. All the snow had melted by Saturday, and they were able to get in some first round and second round games there. But some odd days later, and they'll get the championship in as well.
As for Grand Island, they're coming off 3 losses in the HAC, 0-5 against Lincoln Southwest, 0-7 to Lincoln East, and 0-1 to Fremont in that 7th and 8th place game. Taking a look at your starters for the Islanders. Foreign exchange student Anna Ganea up top alongside Katie Zelo through the middle and Kelly Contreras on the left. You have your midfielders Para Valencia, Hernandez, and then your 4 along the back line, Christina Palma, Sydney Williams, the anchor in the middle, alongside Lulu Diaz, Olivia Miettinen on the left back, and Quincy Gomez between the sticks for this Islander squad. As for Columbus, you talk about that senior experience. There's a lot of seniors in this one. Kennedy Jones spearheading the attack for the Discoverers. 6 goals and counting. Courtney Aldrich, the left forward. Mids, Gomez, the Tolkien twins, as well as Pedraza playing defensively as the Discoverers play that diamond 4 in the middle. And there you have Lantis, Kachera, Gok, Bertrand on the back line, and Keller, the goalkeeper. Islanders with a chance here early on. A shot goes in the back corner, and GI strikes.
Grand Island with an early goal here. What a finish. They broke through that back defensive line. And a great finish. She shoots the far post.
Carla Hernandez battles off the defender, clinically put in the back corner. And the Islanders catching the Discoverers by surprise here early.
What a great finish. You'll get another look, and that's about the only place you can go and score it is that far side, and she just put it in beautiful position in that lower 90.
And you saw her taking on the captain, Emily Gok, one of those stalwart defenders, but couldn't shake Hernandez enough to alter her shot. And what a play by the junior. And that's been the big thing for first-year head coach Brendan Hanafy, is just talking about changing the culture and the belief of this Lady Islander program that hasn't seen a lot of success in recent years. And he wants to instill in his players, hey, we can play a specific way. We can play with some attacking power, which they're not used to doing, and we can score goals. And so that's been the biggest challenge in his first year. And that is about as good of a start to the game as you could hope for if you're Coach Hannafy.
A great way to get things going here under the lights that just kicked on. We'll see if they can carry this momentum here. That's just like you said, a great note to get things started against a very good Columbus team. And for Coach Polito, for Columbus, you're hoping your team wakes up a little bit here and gets going after letting a goal go very early in the game.
These two opposing coaches actually know each other quite well, played at York College together. Coach Polito was a goalie while Hannafy was a few years ahead of him, also a defender, so they played on the field together for one season. And Coach Polito said, of all the players I've played with in my career, he's top 3. Speaking of Coach Hannafy, so I mean that's pretty high praise.
And is not a bad compliment by any means.
Of course, Coach Hannafy coming from overseas, played soccer in Wales, grew up there before coming across the pond and starting his coaching career in Wyoming after he played soccer at York. And since made his way to Grand Island. He was an assistant on the boys soccer team the past 2 seasons, prior to last season when he became an assistant, knowing that he'd become the head coach this season. So there's his little coach bio for you, Grant.
Yeah, nice. And it's just a nice journey to get here to GI. And some good stuff happening with the girls program. Again, it's been a slow start for them, but when you watch them, you do see the good base starting to build and starting to get some really good things in place. It's just getting that first victory down.
Tolkien brings it out to Lantis, a freshman in the starting 11 for Columbus High. And again, when you talk about momentum in soccer and just what that can do, getting an early goal for Grand Island is not only big, but then you start having that belief. And you play with that for the remainder of the game. Now, Columbus, they're a seasoned team, a veteran team that's been in situations like this, and of course they have the skill on their squad to deal with a deficit early on, and we'll see how they react.
Definitely could instill a little doubt in the Discoverers, too, when you let something go that early, so that also could be on your side. But, yeah, a very old team that's been in some tight situations before, so if you're Polito, you're glad you have that experience out there, but they'll need to get something going here.
Throw-in taken here by Lantis, the one freshman in the starting 11 for Columbus High. Also a sophomore by Sofia Gomez, but majority of these players on the pitch, seniors like we mentioned. Tolkien with a rip from distance. Goes out wide for a goal kick. That was Ashley Tolkien. Going to play soccer at Concordia. Like you mentioned, Grant, one of several players that'll be taking their talents to the next level on this team.
Most recently signing was Abby Pedraza, who's heading to Northeast to play soccer in Norfolk. Her sister Shayna going off to college as well to play soccer. So their father, a Hall of Fame wrestler at Columbus High, they decided to use that athletic talent on the soccer pitch instead.
Of course, Shayna too battling, or coming back rather, from a ACL injury last year, and that was something that really it hurt the Discoverers' chances in terms of their state tournament run. It happened after the Kearney game, just a few games prior to state, and she's been kind of rehabbing and working her way back all throughout the off-season, and good to see for her that she's able to, up to this point, participate in her senior year, but that was something that really hurt Columbus High as they were knocked out in the first round to Scott in state last season.
And she's still not back at 100%. You can see when she's going around, she does have the brace on, and no matter how healthy you are, that brace does limit your mobility to an extent, and you won't be as fast as you want to be, but it's necessary protection, and certainly when you're trying to rehab and get back to 100% strength, it's not worth tearing it again before you go on to play college soccer, where you could have another 4 or 5 years of athletics left.
10 minutes in, and it's the Islanders with a 1-0 lead. Kennedy Jones plays the through ball here for the Discoverers. Goes out of play.
Columbus High doing a good job of possessing at least here, but just haven't been able to put one away yet, and we're only 11 minutes in, so still plenty of game left, but you feel like that's probably still hanging over their heads, letting that goal go early until they can actually put one away, even if it is short in the game, and boy.
Wow, real opportunity for Jones, and that was just an error that you can't be making if you're Grand Island. Quincy Gomez unable to boot that goal kick far out away.
That was a close one. You see that tiny little gap between the crossbar and the field goal post, and that somehow wedged closer to the crossbar than the field goal post, but still went through that little gap. That was a very close shot.
Ball ripped away. 12 minutes in. Peravalencia knocks it forward. Anaganea running on. Excuse me, that's Zelo. Chance for a quick throw here by GI.
Zelo with a good body there to keep that ball in play, using that to block that ball from getting kicked back onto the other side of the field.
Knocked forward by Contreras. Now all the way up here to the Columbus attack. Madeline Ulig. Also in for the first time, another freshman on this Columbus team.
If you are a Columbus girls soccer fan or a Columbus North Platte soccer fan, we'll have their broadcast on Friday out of Columbus, so you can hang out with Chris and myself out of Wilderness Park down there, and should be a fun time. So if this isn't enough soccer for you from Columbus, tune in then again as well.
Plenty of soccer in general. Of course, we have Grand Island boys and girls against Kearney on Thursday that everyone around here is excited about. So basically just check out ncnsportsnow.com pretty much every day of the week, and we'll have something for you.
Got some baseball coming up here later in this schedule, I believe. Towards the end of the year, we have Columbus Norfolk, I think, on the schedule, but I'm not sure if we have what else we have.
We got Grand Island, Columbus.
So
late as well, I think early May.
So be sure to check that out. And ncncalendar.com's got everything you need as far as what we have going on. So a good resource if you're curious as to where one of us may be hanging out at.
Throw in one here for Columbus. And again, the Discoverers normally run a 4-3-3, but talking to Coach Polito for this game, he said we're going to try a 4-4-2 with that diamond in the middle to see how it works. And that's something they tried against North Platte.
North Platte, and that was a high-scoring game too. Columbus came back and eventually won that matchup 4-3, but North Platte was up 3-2 at one point after at halftime, actually, and then Columbus just finding a way to put two more goals in the second half to come away with a tight victory. So you wonder, and oddly enough, a similar exchange that we had in the Grand Island game. Grand Island boys were running that, and when they decided to switch back to their regular formation, they had a little bit more success, put away a final goal, and stuck with that in overtime, it looked like, to get one more goal and get the victory. But we'll see if it's successful for Columbus.
Throw in here for Palma. You also have Mackenzie Schroeder checking in for the Islanders. That's out of play off Lantis. No, actually, it'll say off the Islanders. And it's actually, free kick awarded.
Just a little push in the back there as Lantis was approaching the ball, so Columbus chance to maintain possession.
Ball bouncing around in the middle of the field. Knocked forward there by Pedraza. Jones releases Tolkien. Good recovery, though, by Diaz.
Nice thing about the early goal, if you're Grand Island, if you can play some mistake-free soccer, you might be in the clear in this one, but that's a lot of game left, 64 minutes of mistake-free soccer. So you got to be careful. That first mistake we saw almost resulted in a goal from Kennedy Jones. And so Columbus, a team that if you give them a little bit of room, they'll take a little bit more.
We'll see what happens here on this goal kick. And there's another short goal kick from the keeper. Tolkien with a rip, and there's a save. For Gomez. And Gomez's first save of the contest. Almost halfway through now. Still 1-0 lead. Tolkien with the pullback. And it'll be an Islander throw here. Palma to take it. Aldrich with the throw. Ashley Tolkien, weaving in and out, has a rip, deflects off of an Islander. To Grand Island's credit, as you have another nice save by Gomez, haven't created too many or allowed too many opportunities for Columbus, aside from that one mistake you mentioned, Grant. So, and that's what they're going to have to play. They're going to have to play pretty much mistake-free soccer.
It's that kind of bend but don't break mentality that you usually use that phrase in football, but defensively here for Grand Island, that might be the key, because Columbus is going to get some possessions on you, and they're going to push you down on your side of the field because they just have really good ball handlers and a lot of girls with very good awareness, but just not letting that back line give way.
I would like to remind you that News Channel Nebraska coverage is proudly supported by JBS. As the #1 meat protein producer in the world, they are proud of the Grand Island employees and their shared commitment to the community. JBS, making your world stronger. Again, Gomez coming out to deal with the Columbus threat. And he had Pedraza trying to swing that one in. Sent forward towards Contreras. Dealt with by Cachera. You look at that back line, you have Cachera and Gawk right in the middle. Two senior leaders which is what you want. Then you have Lantis on the right backside, with just a freshman, but has a lot of promise, and then junior Bertrand on the left. Pretty solid back line to break down, which again is why it was so surprising the Islanders were able to get him so early with a quick goal.
You wonder, too, if there was any effect because that game, the boys' game went into overtime, so the girls kind of sat around for an extra 20 minutes that they weren't planning on, and all of a sudden you're getting ready to go, and so it's a long warm-up. You're building yourself up to get ready to go, and then you got to sit back down and kind of ease your mind for another 30 minutes before you come back out on the pitch and warm up. So maybe they got caught being lackadaisical, but yeah, it's not something you'd expect out of the Discoverers team to let a goal go early against any squad. And man, credit to Grand Island for breaking through and kicking one off early.
So a volley by Jones would have been wide regardless. But you do see too that Grand Island is very much playing with a lot of bodies on their own half, and it's that fine line where Coach Hannafy said, you know, we're trying to teach this Grand Island team that you don't always have to play that way. You can send some bodies forward and search for the goal, but now that you have that goal against a ranked opponent, do you say, hey, you know, I told you normally we don't revert to this, but let's maybe revert to this a little bit and try to protect what we have for this game.
You need you need a nice dose of realism and, you know, trying to build that culture too, and knowing what your capabilities are. And truth is, Grand Island's just not as high-powered offensively as Columbus is, and you just need to play to your strengths and what you do well. So, you know, if that means putting some more bodies on defense, that's great. And if you can continue to hold off Columbus, that's just a great game plan. It's not that, you know, you're giving into one thing or the other. It's just playing against a very good team and doing what you have as your strengths. And so it's a tough line to walk where you're still, like you said, trying to instill some of that good stuff of going forward and trying to strike, but also trying to make sure that mentality in your girls isn't playing not to lose. You're still playing to win, and you're not playing to avoid the loss. So it's an interesting balance, certainly. And I suppose if anybody figures out that mix, that'll be a gold jewel they can sell for thousands on the penny.
Well, you see that Columbus is not too afraid of a counterattack right now. They have several bodies forward due to their skill, and Grand Island, though, still to this point holding on to the 1-0 lead, 23 minutes in. Comes another Columbus throw. That'll play off Jones. Three substitutions coming in for the Discoverers. That bounces out of play off Aldrich. This will stay with the Islanders. Luis Polito in his third season now with this Columbus High team. So you talk about this group of seniors that were sophomores, and that was really the group that he came in with. So kind of the core unit, very familiar with the head coach and what he's trying to do, and looking at what talent this Columbus team has and the experience, you would very much expect them to be in Omaha towards the end of the season in some capacity.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where they finish up at. Another good team in Columbus is the Columbus SCOTUS girls soccer team, who is hoping to repeat at least the opportunity to compete for a state championship. They finished runner-up last year against, again, a very good Scott team, but that's a very good group of soccer teams in Columbus, specifically in the girls category too, with SCOTUS and Columbus High and Lakeview doing some nice things this season too. So it's not an easy road either way, but often you see Columbus and Columbus SCOTUS playing in that state tournament.
Great save there by Gomez. Kennedy Jones maybe feels a little unlucky to not have grabbed the equalizer there.
A heck of a look there on that send through. Certainly. And man, they keep getting opportunities. They just haven't put one away yet.
Looks like another corner is going to be awarded here to Columbus. High one swung in, headed away by the Islanders. Headed towards the goal and in.
What a great header back into the mix there. Kennedy Jones, I believe, was the one who got that one. We'll get another look at it here. But a beautiful corner kick. Great defense to head that one back into the air, and then the finisher on the back end. And there was Kennedy Jones bullying her own teammate, but gets in there and knocks the header back into the net.
Coming in the 27th minute, and the Discoverers have equalized. And who else but the leading goal scorer, Kennedy Jones, to find it back at the net for Columbus.
And you wonder how this might change the landscape of things as well, now that Grand Island needs to probably be a little bit more aggressive offensively. And if that pulls out any of the extra defenders maybe they had back in place previously here.
Tolkien leading the charge. There's Ashley Tonkin keeping the ball at her feet. Tries to knock it up towards Ulig. GI wins the ball back here, looking to spring a counter. Up to Zelo. Good defense on the back line by Gok. You already see instantly, yeah, that Grand Island's starting to get their bodies back forward again, saying, well, clearly we can't do that same tactic Tide.
They were doing a good job there, too. They were really putting the pressure on there for a second, just couldn't quite keep it on. So we'll see if that does have the effect. You've got more of that offensive mindset. If, you know, one that could open up some more opportunities for Columbus, who's been really pressuring you this game, or, you know, it could see a shift in the team all of a sudden being really successful at getting down and getting some goal opportunities.
All sent forward towards Zelo. Aldrich with it, plenty of time. And headed away by Diaz. Ball sent toward the box again. Tolkien with the shot towards the box. Ashley trying to chase it down. Islanders knock it forward. Another chance for GI. That was Hernandez again trying to find the goal for a second time. Battling with Kuchera, who knocks it forward. Shayna Talkin sends it to the middle. Up to Jones. Space on the far side, Ashley Talkin. And Hernandez called for the foul. Free kick here for Columbus. Long ball sent toward the box, and Gomez scoops it out of the air.
Good pickup there by Gomez, and it's a dangerous spot to be in. If you don't snag that thing, there's some Columbus feet that are ready to kick it in, so a really nice catch.
Free kick here for the Islanders. Per Valencia drops it back, intercepted by Ulig. Interception by the Islanders. Trying to work it up to Zelo. She has it. She's going to take on this back line. And not a lot of support there for her. Nicely done by the back four. Per Valencia, the interception. Zelo. Cleared away by Kuchera.
Maybe the danger for Columbus, too, is they might almost be in much of an offensive mindset to where Grand Island's able to counter you and get away. And, you know, that's kind of what happened on that first goal, but now at least getting some opportunities here and some potential looks.
Good turn by Ulig. Yeah, they certainly aren't playing scared. This one's cleared away. Just under 7.5 remaining. Aldrich to take the throw. Strong tackle by Contreras. She wins the ball back. Far side, Delantis. Strong battle by Palma to win it for the Islanders. Here comes Contreras. She has some speed. Hernandez, the goal scorer for the Islanders, knocks it forward. Contreras can't quite keep it in. Palma gets it out of danger. Throw in here for Columbus, nearing the 6-minute mark. Ashley Talkin with some fancy footwork. Talking to Coach Polito. Great dribbling skills, very technical on the ball as Columbus nearly has another chance. There's a shot from Ashley well over. And I believe she might have split the uprights on that one as well.
Throw on 3 points. It's better than getting a goal.
Again, just joining us, it was Grand Island who got the scoring started first. Carla Hernandez caught the Discoverers by surprise. Goal in the 5th minute, but Kennedy Jones was able to equalize off a corner, headed it home in the 27th to give us our 1-1 score. There's been a lot of Columbus pressure ever since.
Yeah, they've done a good job of maintaining possession. And the Grand Island too, when they switched to a little bit more of an offensive attack from that defensive state they were in when they had the lead, has gotten some looks, and they do look a little bit more comfortable here. And they've even done a better job of defending too. They haven't allowed as many goals since they switched back to this other kind of more offensive-based look. So, some positives for GI too here. Potentially going into halftime, tied 1-1.
GI throw upcoming. Kelly Contreras trying to run it down, and Keller comes out for the scoop. Ball at the feet of Dominguez. Nearing that 3-minute mark. Again, solid defense by Kachera. This Columbus back line, aside from that one early mistake, has played pretty flawlessly.
Yeah, they've not allowed much of a look ever since that early goal. They've really stiffened up.
Dangerous chance here, and Gomez gets her fingertips on it, or Columbus very nearly would have had their second goal.
Yeah, a very close look, trying to head it over top of the defender, and I believe that was Sofia Gomez Garcia that had the look.
Ashley Talkin with it for Columbus. She goes down, and Columbus is awarded a free kick here.
Fun fact, grew up with Sophia's brother Miguel. Used to get pretty squatted up, the young kids say, in the front yard playing some driveway basketball. Is that even a word, squatted up?
I think so.
That's cool now.
It's probably in the dictionary
made
somewhere.
It cool, I guess.
What about soccer?
We used to
soccer
ball was life back in the day. I didn't play a ton of soccer back in the day. I got a little bit into it later in high school there, and was playing with some club teams or some indoor teams and stuff like that. So we didn't always play a ton of soccer. We played a little bit together. Soccer was more his sport, but he played football as well. But we used to hit the driveway hoops pretty hard. Lower that rim down to 9 foot and see how hard you can throw it down.
More like 6 foot for me, but I know what you mean. Nearing the minute mark, still tied 1-1. Columbus substitution quickly here right before half. Ashley Tolkien comes back on. And it'll be a GI goal kick. Again, they haven't had the most success on these early on in this game. You see Sydney Williams will take it.
Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And that'll do it for the first 40 minutes. 1-1 ball game here between Grand Island and Columbus. We'll take a break, be back with halftime stats and analysis when we return. And welcome back here to Grand Island, currently at halftime. We're tied 1-1 between the Lady Islanders and the Lady Discoverers. Brandon Axum, Grant Otten with you. Let's take a look at some of the first half action. As it was actually Grand Island catching the Discoverers by surprise. Carla Hernandez, that goal coming in the 5th minute, puts it far corner. GI up 1-0. You have some good saves there from Quincy Gomez as that shot came in from distance. Grand Island tried to play the defensive game, but it wouldn't last forever. Kennedy Jones with the header in the back of the net off of the corner. That goal came in the 27th minute. We're tied 1-1, and it was nearly 2-1, but Gomez getting her fingertips on that one to keep that ball from getting over her head and keeping the game at a 1-1 scoreline currently at halftime. That's where we sit. We'll take another quick break and get ready for the next 40 minutes when we return. Welcome back here to Grand Island. We got 40 more minutes of soccer to play at a minimum. We could see extra time like we did in the boys. Currently it's 1-1. Grand Island and Columbus tied as we get ready to go. Brendan Axum and Grant Otten with you.
Been a good first half. You got that 1-1 tie. Obviously Columbus coming back to score that goal with Kennedy Jones, and it's been a fun one so far. Grand Island's playing some good soccer. They're starting to look like they're close to breaking through. They just haven't gotten through that final barrier since very early on in the game, but it's been a fun match to watch here.
Islanders, of course, looking for their first win of the season. And it would be huge if they were to get it over a ranked opponent. Still a lot of work to do if the Grand Islanders want to get that result. Columbus High, very talented team. Kennedy Jones, the goal scorer in that first half for the Discoverers. Very much a threat.
Yeah, they played some good soccer ever since letting that first goal go, and they've been poised to score a couple more goals, but haven't been able to get to the back of the net. But they are putting some good pressure on and have given Grand Island some troubles, but for the most part they've stood firm.
Pedraza swings the ball. Now Tolkien dispossessed. Here comes Grand Island. Pedraza wins it back. Now Katie Zelo, she's a fiery player for this Islander team. She hasn't had a lot of opportunities to get worked into this game as of yet. And all she needs is one chance, the sophomore up top in the middle. You have to imagine that's what the Islanders will be trying to do, get her the ball if possible. Easier said than done, though, against this tough Columbus team.
Yeah, if they can get a chance to counter, that'll most likely be their best opportunity to score. That's when they've been closest to breaking through and getting some opportunities so far.
Chance here for Columbus, shot from wide. Easy save for Gomez. Diaz, some tough defense in the middle. Ball to the backside, and unable to get enough on that one to cause Gomez any issues.
Gomez Garcia getting that one down, and it was coming in a little bit too high. I think to really get a good stop on her would be pretty difficult to get a good stall there. But if she could have, maybe would have had a better chance at getting a shot off, but still gets a boot towards the goal.
Para Valencia battling for it for GI. Columbus, of course, enjoying the majority of possession in that first half. Worked up again to Jones. She shields off Diaz. Columbus getting bodies forward. Dealt with by Williams. High booming ball.
Man, that would have been probably a goal if it was aimed right in the right spot, just a little wide. That was quite the boot.
They're always tough to judge. Then you have the lights playing a factor into it as well.
Especially, yeah, when it's that high and that it was, you know, you bring up the lights, it's almost a direct angle into the light when she's seeing that ball float up in the air as high as it did.
It looks like we have an injury on the field, however, so the clock's stopped. .36. And it looks like it might be Diaz who is down. Or Miettinen, perhaps.
Getting up, walking off under her own power, so a very good sign there.
So we're about ready to get back to action here. Just almost 4 minutes into the second half. Tied up at 1. Up towards Zelo. Here she goes. Solid defense by the back line, but Kelly Contreras, she can fly. But the Columbus back line does a nice job yet again. Another throw here for Columbus. Up to Jones, she turns, has it on her right foot, sends it across the middle, and Tolkien just got a little too much under it.
Great look, a great pass from Jones. And man, Tolkien was very close to putting that one in. You saw she had just a little bit too much foot underneath it, but still a great look, a great opportunity.
And she knows about the opportunity she had. Well, Columbus nearly having another opportunity. Sometimes you see that happen too when you lean back just a little too much, and that's what causes the trajectory to go skyward.
It's a quick pace with that coming in so fast. You don't really have time to look at the goal either, and so you're just trying to get a foot on it and having that sense, like you said, of just how much to put underneath it so you can get above the goalie but still wedge it in it's a tough angle to hit.
Still 1-1 ball game here. Plenty of time left in the second half. Grand Island looking for their first win of the season against a ranked Columbus opponent.
They're doing a great job so far. We're just about 7 minutes in, and it's been a pretty tight matchup here in the first half.
Room on the far side for Columbus here. Ball sent towards the box, headed by Diaz. Up to Zelo. Grand Island trying to spring a counter. Nifty move by Para Valencia. Now here come the Discoverers, and that one put out just a little too far from Beltran. Or Gomez, excuse me.
Trying to hit the counter there, and just goes a little bit too wide. But again, that comes back to the turf aspect. Columbus, you know, they're getting the win on turf against North Platte, but you don't see them playing on turf very often, so sometimes an occasional touch might go a little bit long if you haven't quite adjusted to that entirely.
Ball brought down by Ashley Talkin. She gets past her defender. Good give and go in the middle. She has another shot. Again, just a little bit high, but
Good rip, though.
yeah, it was a good rip from about, what, 25 yards out.
Yeah, you get it might even been close to 30, but you get that just a hair lower, which is so hard to do. But if you can get a hair lower, that probably is going in for a goal too. So, you know, 2 great shots from her.
That was a good combination play between her and Shayna, her sister. Another goal kick upcoming here for the Islanders.
Got that twin connection to the max there.
Like we said, they've been playing on this Columbus program for quite some time.
And
Even
they
were
play-
starting as freshmen.
They play a lot of club soccer too, so those two have put a lot of time in, like a lot of these gals have on the soccer pitch year round.
We have a whistle back near midfield. This will be marked at the 25-yard line on the football field, roughly, but a free kick upcoming for Columbus. Grand Island just kind of on their back heels here in the second half. Like you mentioned, they're bending but not quite breaking yet.
For Columbus, you're really hoping to get a goal here in regulation. If you're Grand Island, obviously you want a goal in regulation, but if you know they can keep continuing to battle and bruise with Columbus on the defensive end, you got to think if they go into overtime even, or even later in this half, you might find yourself with an opening if Columbus gets a little bit exhausted.
Majority of this half being played on the Columbus attacking half of the field. GI just hoping to catch the Discoverers on a counter if the opportunity presents itself. Talking again with the ball at her feet, drops it off. Goal kick upcoming.
It'll be interesting to see which team can finally break through here to open this game up.
Here comes Gomez, tries to swing it around. Corner kick here.
Great chance if you're Columbus. Gomez Garcia kicked it into a player. Now Emily Gock's going to send this one in. That's how they scored last time, off the corner kick. Eventually headed in by Kennedy Jones.
Back in the 27th minute. Dangerous ball to the far post, and it is 2 for 2. Ashley Tolkien this time heading it home.
Emily Gock, what a boot right there. My word. That looked like it was on a train rail from her foot to Ashley Tolkien's head. Man, you could not draw that up any better. Another good look at this, and Ashley Tolkien right in position and just perfect placement.
53rd minute. Columbus takes the 2-1 lead. Both of them, as you mentioned, coming off corners, coming off of headers. Ashley Tolkien this time places it in the back corner.
This rule of thumb, don't let Emily Gock send in a corner kick. Somebody is going to head that thing in.
Now the Islanders forced to have more bodies up top, searching for an equalizer the rest of the way here with 27 and change remaining.
And Columbus hoping to get one more in there to try and put things away, or at least make it harder.
Headed by Ganea. We have her and Zelo up top for the Lady Islanders as they chase now this lead. Again, it's going to be difficult to break down this back line. It's been playing very well. Battle in the middle of the field. Para Valencia dispossessed. And we have a foul against the Discoverers. If you're Columbus, you don't want to relax, but you can take a little bit of a breath and a sigh of relief a little bit.
Wouldn't hurt to score one more, though, if you can keep that pressure on.
Grand Island hanging with this tough opponent here. Jones now playing in a deeper midfield role. Columbus threatening. Nice defense again. This time by Williams to clear it out, at least momentarily. Jones from way out, and that one won't trouble the keeper. Goal kick sent away right to Jones. Has it on her left foot. Can't make good contact. Islanders need to clear it. And it's Palma who comes back to deal with the threat. So here we go.
This has been the forte for Columbus.
Both goals coming off of corners and headers. Grand Island needs to be sure to mark up here.
Both corners coming from the opposite side, so this will be a little bit different here.
Again, right in the danger zone, headed away by the Islanders. Up to Zelo. And you see the speed she has when she's in the open field. Solid defense by Columbus, however. Nicely done by Kuchera.
Nice header there. It keeps that one back on the opposite side of play. Isabella Beltran.
Cleared out up towards Ganea. She wins a throw for the Islanders. Quickly takes it up to Hernandez. The goal scorer here for GI back in the 5th minute. Well, during this break in the action, we'd like to remind you that NCN coverage is proudly supported by JBS. As the #1 meat protein producer in the world, they are proud of the Grand Island employees and their shared commitment to the community. JBS, making your world stronger. Throw here for Columbus, 2-1 lead. Grand Island got up 1-0 in the 5th minute thanks to Carla Hernandez. Kennedy Jones equalized in the 27th, and most recently it was Ashley Tolkien for Columbus heading home. A well-taken corner to give Columbus the 2-1 lead. That goal coming in the 53rd minute.
2-1 the score of the boys game as well. Grand Island boys came out with a victory over Columbus in overtime in a very exciting matchup. So be sure if you missed that one to go check out the highlights on NCN Sports. Later tonight, tomorrow, they'll be up at some point. There is some work to be done before those get up, but a very fun game to watch there to start our night off.
Columbus threatening again. Jones on her left foot. Another save. That is number 5 for Quincy Gomez. I'd like to remind you, feel free to give us a tweet at NCN Sports. Interact with us on Twitter. Let us know who you're cheering for, where you're watching from, anything else you might like to throw out there. We'll give you a tweet live, or a shout out rather, live on the air as we have an Islander player who is down currently.
Carla Hernandez, the middle, down for a little bit.
And good to see she hops back up and is able to stay on the field. It'll be a free kick here for the Lady Islanders, nearing the halfway point here in the second half. Islanders with a substitution coming on. Looking for that equalizer, plenty of time to do it. But they're going to be forced to take some chances, get some more bodies forward. Contreras trying to chase the ball down. Here comes Columbus. GI throw was won by Guadalupe Hernandez, a freshman on this team. Working her way into the starting 11.
Slowly working their way downfield there as it keeps getting kicked out of bounds.
Good throw. Ganea turns, squares it across. And a shot, and it'll go well wide, but best chance so far the Lady Islanders have created this second half.
Yeah, a good job getting down in position and getting a take on the goal there. They got 19 minutes roughly here to go and plenty of time to get a goal in, but you only need one opportunity for the Islanders to try and send this one to overtime.
Back up top to Hernandez. Give and go with Contreras. Once again, that back line is there for Columbus. That one gets a little too far away from Gomez. Another discoverer coming on the pitch. Looking ahead, Grand Island gets a clash with Kearney. The Lady Bearcats sitting at 4-3. Coming up on Thursday. As for Columbus, the games are going to come very quickly, especially when you have to work in that GNAC championship on the 20th. You have a game on the 13th against North Platte, game on the 17th against Hastings, or at Hastings, game on the 19th at Kearney, game on the 20th for the championship, and then another game on the road at Lexington on the 23rd.
All GNAC opponents, too.
All GNAC opponents. 3 of those 4 on the road. I guess the GNAC game will be at Columbus, correct?
Yep,
that championship, so they get at least that home game.
It was hosted in Norfolk, but due to, again, inclement weather, they moved things around, and so Columbus, being the top seed there, will host Hastings. If not, they would have played Kearney. Hastings upset Kearney, and if Kearney would have won, then Columbus would have been traveling on that game for the road too, so they're probably happy they are the high seed and get a host one and be at home for that mix of games.
Free kick awarded here to the Islanders. Strong win by Gomez. Columbus unable to string together a counter there. Drop the ball back to Lantis. She sends it up. And Jones won't quite be able to get there. We see Captain Sidney Williams booting that goal kick away, doing a great job in the middle of the defense, that back line. Just a junior. It started as a sophomore. Vocal leader. Coach Hannafy really likes what she brings in terms of keeping the back line organized. Jones with a rip on the left foot, and she finds it. The volley from 22 yards out, and Columbus is up 3-1. What a strike. Kennedy Jones now with 2 goals tonight.
Jones with a fantastic rip. You can see excited after that one. This is going to be tough to come back from, but a just beautiful positioning in an upper 90.
There's nothing you can do, unfortunately, for Gomez on that one. That is just
Get
a well-placed
get
ball.
Gadget as your go-go gadget arms, maybe. Mechanically
If
enhance
any-
yourself
yeah,
to,
I mean-
to that is such a good placement. Yeah, you cannot blame him for not getting to that one. That's just hard.
And you talk about the skill. That was a one-hopper volley, and you have to hit it square enough, make sure it still dips, and placing it in the top corner. Kennedy Jones enjoying a great campaign as a senior. Now 8 goals, leading the Discoverers in this category.
Almost looking for another strike there. Uligan Tolkien just can't quite connect. But yeah, man, she's just having a fantastic season so far, and it has been fun to just see her play. She's so quick and athletic the basketball court, wherever she's competing at, softball field as well. She's been having a really good year.
Ganea gets the ball up to Hernandez. All cleared away by Beltran. One back by the Islanders here, 2 on 4. Contreras holding it up. Islander throw here. We're under 15 to play. Ball sent forward. Contreras trying to chase it down. It's a good job applying pressure, forcing the clear from Kachera. Another near opportunity that cleared away by Gok. Through ball, Islanders with an opportunity. Solid defense yet again. But you see now GI getting bodies forward and they start creating opportunities for themselves. Of course, it's just the backside of it is you leave yourselves vulnerable for the counter.
I thought even when they moved up and got into more of this offensive zone, for the defensive pressure I thought was even a little bit better, and they looked a little bit more fluid. So they've done some really nice things. The goals that Columbus has had, you look at 2 corner kicks, and that last one from Kennedy Jones that came off of the hop and was just a really impressive goal. There's not a ton you can do about those when you have 2 set plays and the corner kicks being as good as they are. The defense in game and in motion when they're not sitting in set plays has been really good, and I think there's a lot of good stuff that can build off this. And it's tough. You're down 3-1 if you end up losing this game by 2 goals. You look at the score and it's not very exciting, and it may be, it's not where you wanted to finish at. But there's so many good things they did in here too. It's keeping your head up and noticing those on top of what you've done to kind of build your strength. So, if you're a Grand Island Girls soccer fan, you've seen some really good things today.
First of which starting with that opening goal.
Yeah,
by
great.
Hernandez.
Great finish. Again, against a top 10 defense in the state too.
Under 12 left. Here tonight is a part of our soccer doubleheader, like you mentioned, Grant. Our first game, Grand Island got the victory 2-1 in overtime over the Discoverers, taking some momentum into their big contest on Thursday. A couple more Columbus players subbing on.
What's up?
11:15 to go. Ball sent up and cleared away by Columbus yet again. Ganea, she had the goal against Lincoln Northeast, applying a lot of pressure. Contreras, Hernandez running on, pulls it back. Ganea, and shot sails wide. But again, you're seeing some good link-up play late in the contest.
They're really putting some pressure on, and that's fun to see, especially if you're an Islander. Again, the fact that they're getting down there, they're pressuring this defense, and they are giving themselves some opportunities.
Nearing that 10-minute mark. Columbus, 2 second-half goals, which has been the difference here. Ashley Tolkien and Kennedy Jones most recently broke the tie that we had at halftime.
Just under 10 minutes to go, but again, Grand Island keeping it down on the other side of the field, so if they can continue to pressure, it's just not a lot of time to get 2 goals, but it still is enough time in the same vein to get 2 goals if you can pull something off. In the boys' game, Columbus High tied things up with 20 seconds to go, so certainly anything can happen there.
Gomez trying to lead a charge. Sent forward by Williams. Throw for GI here. And you're looking ahead at Grand Island's schedule. There's a lot of tough games on the horizon, too. You have Kearney, then at Kearney Catholic, then at Lincoln Southeast, another top 10 team at 7-1. You host Lincoln North Star on the 19th. And you wrap up the season at Lincoln East and at Lincoln Southwest. Look at some games on the schedule, and you maybe circle Kearney Catholic as one where you get that first win of the season. Stars currently sitting at 3-5.
Still a good matchup too, and you're right down the road, so that certainly adds some good excitement to that game.
Another solid tackle by Emily Gach, kind of the story of the night, that back line. Playing very, very well for Columbus. A lot of experience. Not going to give oppositions too many opportunities. And something else, too, like we mentioned pregame, this is a Columbus team that's dealing with some injuries and some players out currently. And so when they get back to full strength and get the starting 11 that they're used to, they have a lot of potential to make a deep run.
Yeah, they've got a really strong crew, and they've played some tough teams this year, and they have not been an easy team to play against because they've got so much talent. You saw some of the goals they were making earlier. Those are not easy ones to stop. But again, just reiterating, GI doing so many nice things today, and the circumstances change where you maybe don't have those corner kicks play out like they do, or you don't have those corner kick attempts. You know, we're sitting at a tie game here 1-1 with 6 minutes to go, so it's, you know, just 2 balls didn't roll out in their favor and ended in some goals in for Columbus. So, you know, when they go back and watch the film, I think they got a lot of good stuff to build off of here, and you're going into that stretch of games with Kearney Catholic on the list too, and even a chance to pull some upsets in there, I would think.
Ball won back by the Islanders, sent forward. And see if Islander player able to get back up to her feet. It looked like that was Jocelyn Covarrubias. Good to see.
It looks like she's all right. A good look at the goal there. A little bit too much spin on that one, but a nice little take.
Nearing the 5-minute mark here. So you get getting ready to wrap things up, but Grant, I think we just need to again appreciate the weather we had tonight.
Yeah.
It's supposed to stay nice, like we said, until Saturday. So Thursday, it's supposed to be, at least at this point, 72 degrees.
Tomorrow,
for the Kearney.
77 on
77 on Wednesday.
Man.
And it starts going down on Friday, 56, still nice, but 29 and snow on Saturday.
Sun's out, guns out for anybody who wants to wear a tank for 2 days this week. You can still even get that tank weather in for a little bit.
If work allowed, I would be taking full advantage right now.
Get the
Fortunately, we
suit and tie and cut the sleeves off and start getting some curls regimented into your daily work schedule. We'll get there by summer. I'll join you with that.
I do need a workout, but I appreciate someone to hold me accountable. So
We don't work in the same office. We'll have to FaceTime while we're doing our
That's
daily
all right.
curls, but
whatever it takes.
it's all about the commitment.
Under 4 here. Glad you've been with us for this soccer doubleheader on News Channel Nebraska.
I have to get some self-tanning lotion too. The arms have been
Hey.
stowed away for winter, so they are looking nice and white.
Yeah, the winter, I think, me, like about everybody else in the state, it's winter, it's time just to go. Your time's been here. Just leave for good.
Honestly, if I'm wearing a white button-up shirt with the cut-off sleeves, you might not even know that I cut the sleeves off.
We should do like a before and after, one with the sleeves, one without, and see if
People will be so
see if we
confused.
notice.
Either be kind of like a what's the difference between these two pictures? No, I don't think anybody will find a difference.
Well, you got a soccer game Friday. Maybe that's when you bust it out.
Yeah, it is. I'll be outdoors. I'll be at Wilderness Park, so I get to hang outside. But I'm excited. Yeah, we got Columbus on Friday again against North Platte, and another goal off the corner kick. My word.
Set pieces have been the charm for the Discoverers.
From specifically the left side, that is where Gach finds her sweet spot. That time, Abby Pedraza getting the head in.
Number 3, Abby
Her
Pedraza.
first goal of the season, and that was perfectly headed in.
Just beautiful placement too. Gach really just has a great foot on those left side corners. She's just, her kicking ability is built perfectly for that line, and so just, I mean, defensively that is so hard to stop with that placement. Great finish.
Coach Polito has to be pleased with that sort of percentage on set pieces.
It's not a bad stat either. 3 corner kick scores in one game. That, you know, that's pretty impressive for any team to pull off.
Tolkien with the ball, drops it off. Back to Ashley. Columbus maybe looking for one more. Another rip from way out from Tolkien, and that one barely pushed wide by Gomez. Nice save.
And another corner kick here, so Emily Gach going to come up for one more. Yeah, that was a heck of a rip from about almost 30 yards out. And a really nice save to push that one out, but Grand Island in a tough position. You're going to have to try and stop another quarter kick.
Here it comes. Same spot as the others. It's headed. But out of play, it's going to be another goal kick. or no, excuse me, corner kick, this time from the other side. Time winding down. Sent in again. Jones got it on her foot. Splits the uprights. Position stoppage time now, or a little extra time from the stop clock. 10 seconds remaining.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And that'll do it here from Grand Island. Columbus with 3 second-half goals gets the 4-1 victory over Grand Island. Lady Discoverers improved to 5-2. Grand Island drops to 0-8. We'll take a break here, hear from our player of the game as well as Coach Polito, and we'll check out the top plays when we return on News Channel Nebraska. Welcome back here to Grand Island, wrapping things up. Columbus gets the victory 4-1 as we take a look at our top plays of the game. News Channel Nebraska's top plays brought to you by the Central Nebraska Regional Airport in Grand Island. With daily service to Dallas-Fort Worth and twice weekly flights to Las Vegas and Phoenix Mesa, from here you can go anywhere. Grand Island hosting Columbus, the number 7 team in Class B, and it was the Discoverers who would actually concede first. Grand Island's Carla Hernandez catches Columbus by surprise. GI up 1-0 in the 5th minute, but Columbus would equalize thanks to Kennedy Jones off of the corner kick. She heads it home in the 27th minute. We're tied 1-1 at the halftime break. Coming out in the second half, great save by Quincy Gomez. She had 6 on the night for the Islanders, but they would take the lead. Ashley Talkin off the corner in the 53rd minute. Columbus up 2-1. Kennedy Jones with her second goal, a rip from deep, makes it 3-1. That was from 22 yards out in the 65th minute. Columbus would get one final goal in the 77th minute. Abby Pedraza heads it home. 3 corners, 3 headers, 4 goals for Columbus. They get the victory 4-1 to improve to 5-2 on the season. I'm Brandon Axamit, and those are News Channel Nebraska's top plays. Well, we're waiting to hear from Coach Polito as well as our player of the game. We'll take one more quick break and be back to wrap things up on News Channel Nebraska. And welcome back here to Grand Island, wrapping things up. Let's check it down to Grand Island on the field with Coach Polito.
Thank you, Brandon. Coach Polito, a slow start to the game. Kind of walk me through what it was like starting things off, and then eventually, obviously, you came back. But giving up that early goal, were you nervous at all?
Well, we knew that there's still 77 minutes to play, so I think we know the quality of the team, and I wouldn't say I was nervous. It was just one of those things where we probably shouldn't have started that way. It was just we could have started a little bit better, but I think once we clicked, the goals started coming, which is what's important.
And Emily Gott getting 3 of those goals on those corner kicks, just the placement and her ability to do that. Are you excited when she gets the chance to kind of line up and kick one of those in?
Yeah, I mean, she puts the ball right in the goalie's face, and we got numbers coming. So, I mean, I would hate to be the goalie on that end. So.
You've had 2 high-scoring affairs here recently. You had the North Platte game that you guys came back and you ended up winning, but 4 goals there and now 4 goals tonight. Is this the kind of team you expected to be a high offensive power when you came into the season?
Not necessarily. I know in the past we've always struggled getting goals, and we're just a little bit better on defense, and then now it's just kind of we're doing well on both ends. So.
When you talk about the stretch coming up here now with the GNAC Championship getting moved into the mix, you guys have a lot of games, a couple of them on the road. What's the outlook ahead here?
Basically, it's just being able to rotate the girls so we don't have that, that third game of the week is a championship, and it's against Hastings, Kearney, and then Hastings again. So there's 3 games in a row that are pretty tough. So.
Good luck on the win tonight, Coach.
Yeah, thanks.
All right. That was Coach Polito. Now Kennedy Jones. Kennedy, you got the first goal to get things going. It was later in the game. You eventually got another one. Kind of walk me through that first goal as it was coming towards you.
The first goal, well, it was on a corner, and then it went up in the air, and I go, I got this. Like, I'm tough. I can do it. So then all I remember is just passed it in with my forehead, and it went in. And I was like, wow.
I saw you kind of bullied one of your own teammates to get in there, but it was a good goal. It was a good goal. Now let's go to the second goal. You guys had two, and that kind of sealed things off for you almost before you got the fourth one too. But walk me through that one, because that was an even crazier goal.
Okay, well, I remember getting it, and I touched it with my foot, and my left foot is stronger than my right, so I go, this is it. I got to shoot it. And I shot it, and I thought it was going way over, and then I looked again, and it went in the back of the post. I was like, this is crazy.
Well, and I asked Coach about it. You had 2 games now in a row where you scored 4 points, and so that's some good offense. Is that something you expected, I guess, coming into the season?
Well, I know I had to push myself more because I'm a senior, so I thought this is my last year, so I got to really work hard for my teammates and for myself.
When you look at the stretch of games again, too, and you had that Hastings GNAC championship getting thrown in kind of the mix of those road games, are you excited about that one? Does that make you nervous that you have that many games in a row?
Well, yes, it makes me nervous, but I know my team can do it. For example, the GNAC championship is on our home turf, and first game ever, so I know we're going to bring it. It's going to be a good game.
Very cool. Now, just give me some final thoughts. You get the goal. You see Emily Gach. Are you excited anytime she gets a foot over there? Because anytime she's on this right side over here, it seemed like you guys were licking your chops to get ahead on the ball.
Oh, yeah. Every time she kicks it, I'm like, one of us is going to get it in, whether it's from our foot, belly, head. It just goes in. We're like, okay, let's go with it.
Hey, if you get the belly goal, I'm all for it. I want to see that next time. Congrats on the win.
All right, thank you.
Kennedy Jones, our player of the game, 2 goals tonight. Brandon, back to you.
Thank you, Grant. Congratulations to Kennedy Jones. Again, Columbus gets the win 4-1 on the season. Thank you so much for tuning in to our broadcast at our doubleheader here between Grand Island and Columbus. Again, we will be back here live on this field for a huge rivalry match on Thursday in 2 days. Grand Island taking on Kearney, and of course for our Columbus viewers, our next broadcast will be on Friday when Columbus takes on North Platte. So thank you so much again for tuning in, for our terrific camera operators, Fernanda, as well as Idali and Gladys, for Ethan in the truck. I'm Brandon Axford, as well as for Grant Otten. We'll see you on Thursday.